Well, with more on security concerns at major sporting events, we're joined now by Daveed Gartenstein-Ross. He is a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. I want to thank you for joining us. Why don't we pick up where he left off? When you think about Centennial Park in Atlanta, you know, it would be considered, I guess, a soft target. That was in '96. You look at the Boston bombing, the marathon bombing, you know, it's left along the route. It wasn't actually the actual sporting event itself that was attacked. It is tough to defense against this, isn't it?
Absolutely. And in the past, these groups have actually used this exact tactic of attacking right outside the security perimeter. A good example of this is 2011. There was an attack, a suicide bombing at the Moscow airport. We normally think of airports as being hard targets, but the suicide bombing was right outside the security perimeter, right by the line. It has the same effect. This is something that makes it difficult to guarantee what Russia calls its ring of steel. But that's one of the reasons why they have so many security personnel there. They're going to be very actively policing even outside the ring of steel. The
old saying, and I'm sure you've heard it, you may have even said it, they only have to be right once, right? I mean, that's the tough thing. Trying to get inside their head and be able to secure this, it's got to be very, very difficult.
Absolutely. It's extraordinarily difficult to guarantee security at such a large venue. And this is, to me, very different than previous Olympic Games. Unlike the 2012 Olympics, 2008 Olympics, here you have a situation where there's an active insurgent group that's carried out a number of terrorist attacks inside of Russia, basically a sustained campaign, where you see both the intention and also the competence to carry out a successful attack, which makes it of greater concern than past games.
Does there come a time where countries just decide, this is just too much effort? Do you think we ever get to that point?
Look, I certainly think so. I think that's something we have to have a conversation about and have to be thinking about, because guaranteeing security is so expensive, even for games where there's less of a threat than there is here. This is by far the greatest security expenditures that we've seen, but part of the reason for that is that it's also the greatest threat that we faced at Olympics Games. But one thing that I argued back in 2012 is that Greece's economic collapse, the Olympics that they hosted in 2004 had more to do with it than people realize, because number one, they got their bid in before the 9/11 attack, so they didn't budget for security. And secondly, just after that, in 2008, you had the economic collapse of the United States, which meant they couldn't benefit as much from hosting those games. The cost of hosting games is becoming extraordinarily prohibitive, and countries just aren't benefiting the way they used to by hosting them.
And I guess Brazil's next in line with the World Cup as well. We can go on and on, but we've run out of time. Daveed, thanks so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it.